how special were some of those scenes at the end, farewelling some of the champions of the footy club?
Yeah, it's obviously they've both had amazing careers, and it's something we do really well as a footy club, and that's celebrate our people. They're two great Richmond men, and they always will be. So it was great that our Tiger Army. It's amazing they can come out to support a club, and not only a club, two players that weren't even playing the game. So credit to our supporters for coming out and showing that respect and gratitude. But it was fitting that we could send them off and hopefully show that how much we love them.
The boys put up a fight and really hung in there after getting themselves a bit behind in the second quarter there.
Yeah, and we spoke through that. It's a hard one at the end of the season, looking at the last game and how much you really want to talk about the stats of the game compared to the whole season. But we just felt like it was just a quarter again. The second quarter, we just allowed too many scores. But I'm rapt that you said that about our fight. Our fight today was around making those two players that are sitting in the stands really proud, and obviously sending Marlon off the right way as well. So I felt like our fight for the whole game, our pressure rating was through the roof most of the game. It just showed that we cared and really wanted to finish off the right way.
On the season, how do you assess your first year in the chair? It's been a pretty tough season, obviously, with the injuries especially.
Yeah, it has, and we've been through a lot. And as I've said all year, we're going to look at the silver lining. We've got games into our players while we're dealing with a lot of adversity. The back 5 or 6 games, I felt like our effort was there, but we just there was a quarter here and there that just cost us, and that can be on the back end of some of our younger players playing more games than they would have normally, or they weren't used to. So we understand that we've got a long way to go, and we've got to get better, and we're not happy where we sit on the ladder. So we've got a lot of work to do next season, and our players will come in to day one of pre-season really hungry to bounce back. So hopefully with a bit of luck and more players available, that will be competitive for more games.
Is there still a sense of optimism around the group despite that ladder finish?
Yeah, no doubt. You look through, and I said it early in the year, the margins between winning and losing are really close, or smaller than they have been ever. And you can look at some of the teams that were fighting for top 4. They get a couple of injuries, and now they're not even in the 8. So it doesn't take a lot of adversity to really put you on the back foot. So we dealt with a lot earlier in the year, or in the middle part of the year especially. We have got some optimism around when we do have everyone available, that we can be really competitive. So we're just not happy from obviously the result of the season, and we need to get better, and our supporters expect that.
Does the club sort of look into the lengthy injury list during the off-season and sort of what maybe caused it, or is it you just put it down to bad luck?
Well, there's a bit of both. Like, there's some management around our soft tissue that we weren't good enough at as a club, let alone our fitness staff. So, and then there's obviously the guys that have gone and done their knee or rolled ankles and things like that. So there's ones that you can't control. So, when you add all those things up, we've had a horrendous season on the injury front. So, we'll be looking at all those things. And as a footy club, that's what we need to do. We need to we've got to have best practice in coaching, fitness, and training. So we'll be doing that in the off-season.
Were you able to play the way you wanted to this year, given the injuries, or will you really have to hone in on the game plan over the off-season now?
There's a bit of both. Like even today, we've had so many games where our effort and execution, we've had 60 inside 50s to 49, and just our polish and our synergy in our front end has let us down. So that takes time, and that takes time with the same players playing together. So we started the season with a plan around Lynchy and Noah Bolter, and by the end of the season we've had to play Noah down back, and we've got Jacob Bauer playing forward and doing a terrific job for us, or doing what he can for our footy club. So middle of the year we had to shuffle the magnets around to obviously help with our system and method, but I've got no doubt that when we play our way, we're hard to play against.
How do you approach the off-season, the trade period, the draft? Do you look to replace some of the experience that you lost, obviously, the guys retiring today, or you just pretty much hit the draft with what you've got?
Well, those discussions will all happen now. So we've obviously got 2 guys that are out of contract that are going to make a decision in the next couple of days, and that's going to be vital for our decision making around that. And then it's just going to be based around what our list management team and we decide as a club. So those, we're not going to disclose what our plan is. We'll just work that out in the next few weeks, and our main thing is that we want to bounce back and we want to get back into the finals as quick as we can.
When you took the role, did you anticipate so much change on the horizon in such a short window?
Well, when you take a job, you know that you look at a list and you know what their age profile is. So, like for Dustin and Dylan, whether they played another season, we know that that's the landscape you live in. But it's just more around the injury front. Like there was stuff that we couldn't control that was out of our control. So it's not like we're tipping out 5 of our older players just for the sake of it, so we can bottom out. We've been in a transition of our older players finishing in the last 3 years. We've had a couple each year really, and we've got two of our greatest finishing up this year. So going into it, I knew exactly what we're getting into. I just wasn't expecting so many injuries at the middle of the year.
How important is it to go to the draft in November and nail your picks to really spearhead this revival, I guess?
Yeah, well, it is every year. And to be fair, I think Blair's done an amazing job and has done for the last 10 years. Seeing some of our younger players, we haven't had an early draft pick for a long time, and seeing the growth of Tom Brown and Ryan Mansell and Seth Campbell, like these boys aren't top 10 picks, but they're playing like top 10 players. So that's where the silver lining for our footy club is always going to be around that. And if you put those players in a good program and with the culture that we've got at this footy club, they can play like top 5 players. So we might have the luxury. We've obviously got the luxury of having at least one really early pick this year, but we'd expect the same. They come in and try and get better every day and buy into our culture.
The out of contract guys that you mentioned, do you look to get an answer out of those guys in the next few days through the exit interviews?
Well, they will. The next few days are going to be really important. They've got time on their hands that we're not going to rush them into that decision, other than the fact that they know they've got a contract in place and we love them as players. I'm watching Liam Baker today. He plays with his heart and soul for our footy club, and that's all I could expect the whole season. And Jack Graham was the same. So when they make that decision, it will be the next few days for sure. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.